We come from a time of COVID where digitalization entered our education in a way we could never have guessed before. We've learned a lot of good things, but we also know that we have a lot to learn and to develop. That is why we work together with head teacher and policymakers to enhance the digital transformation, to support it by working on resilience, our skills, our competencies. And it's necessary that we do this because the students of today, they need our support to be ready for their lives and their learning afterwards. So digital transformation needs to be effective and balanced in the schools because that's what needed in the future. Why is the digital transformation of education important?
The importance of digital transformation is because of the changes all over the world. And as an educator, you want to be in line with what's going on in the society. And at the moment, we have a lot of digital programs and things in the school without even knowing what the future will bring. And we're just working now with what we have, but the future will bring a lot more. And I think the transformation will have to be into looking what even more you can do in the future with digital and possibilities.
And what do you see as a challenge that is not yet in the schools?
Not right or not ready?
Not yet.
Not yet. At the moment we work with programs which helps children to do math, to do language. But I think we need more and more to do kind of research by children, to let the children experience with what is all the possibilities there are. And I think at the moment we don't have the equipment for that yet. And we don't educate our children yet to look beyond the boundaries of what we know now. And that's something I think we have to do more in the future. I don't know how yet, but I think that will be the future for digital education.
Yeah. And the safety issues?
That's very important. Safety issues, that's what we're working on now, but that's also with the safety issues from what we know now and what happens now. And I think that more and more the children use all the social media, they more and more realize what the dangers are in that area. And I think we as adults, we are not brought up with it. And we see a lot of... But children already know that's something you don't do. Although we have to educate them though, what's gone. And because children like to experience, children like to see overgoing the boundaries, yeah.
How the digital transformation could support diversity, sustainability?
Well, that's a good question. So spontaneously. Diversity and sustainability, I think there are two different things. Diversity, I think digitalization will help to make education more personal. So it will help to make education and content and the way students learn more personal for students and more of their own, so that will help them. So in that way it can help all types of students in the right way. And also the digitalization makes the world bigger, so we can understand the world better and we can understand all the differences in the world better, and we can see it and we can feel it and we can hear it. So I think because of it opens the world in a more broader way. It will help understand the diversity and the complication of the complicity of the world to make students understand each other's world better in that way. And in terms of sustainability, I think one of the key tasks of education is to help our students make the world a better place. Of course, that's a very high goal to set, but in a way, at the end of the day, that's what we want the students to do and to become. And we have to take care of this world. And we have to make sure that there's room and space and air for the next generations. And we have a big responsibility for that. And I think digitalization makes the world more open. It makes the education possible for a broader public, especially as you think of students in remote places in different kinds of types of the world. If we can reach them through digitalization, through hardware, software, 5G, etc., all those kind of things, that will help a lot to make this world prepared for our children and their children.
Or whatever comes, for the future generations. Yes. What do school heads need in order to be able to really support this digital transformation in the schools?
Well, I think there are 3 things that are essential for a school leader. First of all, what's the purpose of the digital transformation that you aim for your school? Second, does it suit to our values at our school? And third, and most important, is it beneficial for our students?
Yeah. But what does the head teacher need in order to make it possible in the way you just described?
Well, I think as a head teacher, being it myself, it's important to be very clear about those 3 things that I just said. And it's not that you need to have the answers yourself, but you have to proactive look for answers in and out your organization. And you have to bring that information together for the vision that you have. So to be very clear what's ahead, but also be able to get the information from wherever it is, if it helps the digital development that you aim for at your school.
Would you need a training as a head teacher?
In more ways, I think. So I don't believe in a course, digital transformation, how to lead a digital transformation, but I believe in things like this, network meetings, collaboration between schools, communicate with your colleagues, parents and students. I think those are the key elements to train yourself. And now it is about the digital revolution, but it could also go about another development in your school. It's a way of acting, it's a way of leadership that you train yourself learning on the job. So if you have done it a few times, you know the drill. And I think that could be the downfall for some school leaders, that I think that I know it already because I've done it so many times, just to stay curious. It's a word that we used during those, in this session during the past days. And I think curiosity, stay curious at every change that you want to make.
What kind of teacher training or head teacher training would be effective to you, and why?
I think in order to think about training at all, it would be important first to get a shared problem statement. And that's something that a head teacher cannot do alone. But we have to create awareness in the team of teachers. What is the problem? What do we want to change? And if that shared opinion is available, then we can think about how we're going to achieve that goal. So we have to think about creating a timeline, creating a system for creating the awareness within our teaching staff, and making steps in order to get to the point that we think is important. So first of all, it's a strategic question, and that has to be answered first in order to think about steps ahead. And teacher training and head teacher training is, in my opinion, the last step we need to take. And before that, there's a whole process of getting to the point to make further steps. And
so
the strategic step is the most important. Without doing that, I think it's going to fail, the project.
How is this kind of study visit helpful to do digital transformation in the schools?
Well, it's very helpful because you learn from other countries and other cultures how they develop their own technological skills in the schools. You have discussions about ethics, about culture. So it's very helpful for us. Yeah.
Do you have examples of a moment that for you was a real learning moment, eye-opener or inspiration?
Yeah, I think the part of the discussion about ethics, I never took a moment to stand still with the question why we do certain things. And when you think about ethics and the outcomes of the discussion, then I think that was the most important part.
We come from a period that COVID changed education in our schools and the digitalization came in rapidly. We learned a lot and we saw some things were very good for our students, but some things have to be better. That is why it's important that we learn about the digital transformation and what school heads, what leaders need to do to really equip and support this transformation. That is what this project is about, the digital transformation in our schools.